Hey everyone, and a big welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Before we jump into today's topic, just a quick reminder, if you're serious about boosting your English skills and you want more lessons that are, easy to follow, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Definitely worth checking out. They've got some great stuff.
You won't want to miss it. Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive.
Yeah, into something really fundamental for sounding natural in English.
The phrasal verbs?
That's the one. They can seem a bit daunting, maybe, but they make a huge difference.
Totally. And we've got a great source for this. It's a transcript from Club James Studios' English-speaking videos on YouTube.
Right. Specifically, their video called Learn 337 Fluent English Phrasal Verbs that you can repeatedly use in everyday English conversations.
Wow, 337. That's a lot.
It is. But look, don't worry. Our mission today isn't to, memorize all 337.
No, definitely not. We know you want to learn fast, get the useful stuff, but not feel totally swamped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're here to pull out the really practical ones, the phrasal verbs you can actually start using, like today, in your conversations.
And honestly, understanding these is such a great way to sound more fluent, more like a native speaker. They just add flavor.
They really do. They let you express yourself more naturally, make speaking English more, fun.
Okay, so ready to dive in.
Let's do it. Where are we starting?
We're starting with something we all do, talking on the phone, communication, connection. Seems like a good place.
Makes sense. Phone calls are full of phrasal verbs. So what's first on the list?
First up is get through.
Okay, get through. The through part often suggests completing something or moving from point A to point B.
Right. So on the phone, it means
successfully connecting.
Yeah.
Actually reaching the person you're trying to call.
Yeah, that feeling when you dial and nothing, busy signal, just rings and rings.
Exactly. You're trying to get through that barrier, that lack of connection.
So you'd say something like, I tried calling your office all afternoon, but I just couldn't get through.
Perfect example. It captures that frustration of not making the connection.
Okay. What's next after get through?
We've got a couple that are really similar. Hold on and hang on.
Yeah. The waiting ones?
Right. The particle on here kind of implies a pause, like putting the action on hold for a moment.
So they both basically mean wait a short time.
Pretty much. Hold on a minute. I'll just find that number for you.
Or hang on, let me just grab a pen. You hear these constantly.
All the time.
Is there any tiny difference between them? Or are they totally the same?
That's a good question. They're mostly interchangeable, honestly. Some people might feel hold on is maybe a tiny bit more formal.
Okay.
Like maybe if the wait might be slightly longer or in a more, businessy context.
And hang on is more casual.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more informal. Like you'd say hang on more to a friend. Think of a hold as maybe a more deliberate pause and hang as just a quick, grab something kind of pause.
Right.
But honestly, the difference is really subtle. Context usually tells you which one sounds better. Don't stress too much about it.
Okay, that makes sense. Next one, call back.
Easy one. Back usually means a return action.
Right.
So call back is just return a phone call.
Simple. I'm a bit busy now. Can I call you back in an hour?
Exactly. It's polite, practical. Lets the other person know you'll reconnect later.
Good stuff. Okay, then we have breakup.
Yes. The dreaded breakup.
The particle up here often means separating or falling apart, right?
It does. And in this context, it's about the phone connection failing. The sound becomes unclear, cuts out.
Yeah, the signal is literally breaking apart. You can't hear properly.
Precisely. You might say, sorry, you're breaking up a bit. Could you say that again? Or ask, the example, did the line break up earlier? I missed part of what you said about her.
It's such a common thing with mobile phones. Very relatable.
Definitely. Highlights how dodgy phone signals can be sometimes.
Okay, we're back to waiting again. Wait on and hold the line.
Right. We already did hold on and hang on. These are, again, very similar.
Meaning wait for a short time on the phone.
Exactly. Hold the line is probably the one you hear most, like customer service situations.
Oh, yeah, the automated voice. Please hold the line. Your call is very important to us.
That's the one. It implies staying connected, but just waiting.
And wait on.
A bit less common, maybe, in just casual chat, but same idea. The example uses hold on, but you could imagine someone saying, could you wait on the phone for a moment while I check that?
Okay, so variations on a theme, basically.
Pretty much. Different ways to say, please wait.
Got it. Next up, put through.
Okay. Through, again, suggesting that connection from A to B.
So put through means?
It means to connect your call to the person or the department you want to speak to.
Usually done by someone else, like a receptionist?
Exactly. You'll hear, "One moment, please. I'll put you through to the sales department."
And the example uses the passive voice. Your call has been put through.
Right. Because often the focus is on the fact that you're being connected, not necessarily on who is doing the connecting. It's very common in business calls.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, the opposite of connecting, hang up and ring off.
Yep. Ending the call, disconnecting.
So hang up. The up is like putting the old phone receiver back up on its hook.
That's the origin, yeah. Even though we don't really do that anymore, the phrase stuck,
Yeah.
it just means ending the connection.
And ring off?
Similar idea. Off suggests stopping, like the ringing stops. It means the same thing, ending the call.
Is one more common.
Hang up is definitely much more common globally. You'll hear it everywhere.
Like the example, if you get an unwanted sales call, just hang up.
Right. Ring off is heard more in British English, I'd say. Someone might say, "Right, I better ring off now. Need to get back to work."
Okay, good to know the difference there. Sometimes, though, the call ends when you don't want it to. That's cut off, right?
Exactly. Off here suggests a sudden stop, an interruption.
And so the conversation is just abruptly stopped, usually a technical fault.
Usually, yeah. It emphasizes that sudden, annoying disconnection, like we were having a really important discussion and then we just got cut off.
Yeah. Happened to me last week. So frustrating.
Very. Especially with mobile phones, it feels like.
Okay, on a happier note, pick up.
Ah, yes. Simple one. Means to answer the phone when it rings.
The up is like lifting the receiver again.
Kind of, yeah. Lifting it up to start talking.
Kathy.
So the phone rang for ages before he finally picked up.
And the example focuses on timing. I went to pick up the phone, but it stopped ringing just as I got there. Missed it.
Exactly. That timing aspect.
Right. Now, sometimes the other person isn't loud enough.
Then you need to ask them to speak up.
Up, meaning louder, increase the volume.
Simple, direct, but essential for clear communication, isn't it?
Totally. Sorry, could you speak up a bit? I can barely hear you.
Yep. The example is just, "You'll have to speak up. I can't hear you." Straightforward.
Okay. What if you need to call someone back later, maybe with information?
Then you'd say you need to get back to them.
Back to returning to the conversation later.
Exactly. It implies you'll follow up. "I don't have that information right now, but I'll find out and get back to you this afternoon."
Sets the expectation for another call. Useful.
Very. Shows you're going to follow through.
All right, last one for phones for now. Phone in.
Phone in. The "in" here suggests reporting information into a central place from somewhere else.
Like reporting news or calling in sick.
Both are great examples. You phone in your story to the news desk, like the example. The reporter had to phone in his story before the deadline. Or you phone in sick to your office.
Got it. Reporting remotely via phone. Okay, wow, that was a lot just for telephone calls.
Told you they were full of phrasal verbs.
Definitely. Okay, let's switch things up. Let's talk about phrasal verbs for movement and location.
Sounds good. Where are we starting?
With a simple one. Go back.
Okay, back clearly means return.
So just returning to a place you were before.
Exactly. Let's go back to that lovely cafe we found yesterday. It's about retracing your steps, returning somewhere.
Simple enough. What about leaving or escaping?
That would often be get away. Away implies departure, moving to a distance.
And it often has that sense of wanting to escape something, right? Like crowds or stress.
It often does, yeah. We need to get away for the weekend. Just relax somewhere quiet. The example is similar. We walked to the next beach to get away from the crowds.
Seeking some peace.
Okay. Then there's go out. Seems basic, but the outline says it means leaving to start a journey.
Right. The out implies moving from inside to outside, specifically to begin a trip or an activity outside your current location.
So not just stepping outside, but like starting an excursion.
Kind of. What time should we go out tomorrow if we want to miss the rush hour? It's about the departure for a purpose. Like the example. If we can go out at 3 o'clock, the roads will be clearer, planning the start of the journey.
Precisely.
Okay. Moving to careers. Get ahead.
Ah, yes. Ahead obviously means forward, progress, advancement.
So being successful in your job, moving up.
Exactly. It's about ambition, progress. He's always trying new things to get ahead in his field. Or the example, she wants to get ahead in her career.
No, wait, get through is here again, but listed under movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good spot. It's listed here with the same meaning as before succeeding in speaking to someone on the phone.
So it's just reinforcing that meaning, but maybe placing it where movement could be implied, like moving through communication lines.
Possibly. Or just showing how versatile these verbs are. It's a great example of how one phrasal verb can pop up in different contexts, even if the core meaning, like overcoming a barrier to connect, is similar. The main thing is context.
Okay, context is key. Got it. Next, get on. In this section, it means manage or deal with a situation, make progress.
Yeah, get on. The on can suggest like continuing or progressing with something successfully.
So how are you getting on with that project means how is it progressing?
Exactly. Or the example, stop gossiping and get on with some work, meaning continue working, manage your tasks, focus.
Right, focus and progress. Now, get across. This one feels less like physical movement. Make people understand something?
You're spot on. The movement here is metaphorical. It's about moving an idea or a message from your mind across to someone else's mind.
Ah, okay. Like transmitting understanding.
Precisely. He found it difficult to get his point across during the presentation. The example is about marketing. What message are you trying to get across to the consumer? It's about successful communication.
Cool.
Yeah.
Back to literal movement. Get up.
The daily struggle for many. Getting out of bed after sleeping.
Up clearly means moving from lying down to, well, up.
Yep, I find it so hard to get up when my alarm goes off. The example. She finds it very difficult to get up early. Relatable.
Very, okay. After something bad happens, you need to get over it.
Right. Over suggests moving past an obstacle or difficulty.
And this works for physical things like illness and emotional things.
Exactly. You can get over the flu, meaning recover physically. Like the example, it took him a long time to get over his cold. Or you can get over a disappointment or a breakup, meaning recover emotionally. It took her months to get over the end of the relationship.
So recovery and moving past. Got it. But sometimes you feel the opposite. Get down.
Yeah, get down.
Yeah.
Down implies lowering of mood, feeling sad or losing hope.
Like this rainy weather really makes me get down.
Exactly. It acknowledges those dips in mood. The example adds a nice touch of resilience, though. I get down from time to time, but I always come back stronger.
Nice. Okay, get by, meaning manage to reach or touch something. Seems physical.
It usually is, yeah. By suggests moving past or alongside an obstacle to reach something, often involves a bit of maneuvering.
Like reaching past boxes to get something on a shelf.
Could be. Or like the example, needing to get past pipes under the floor. Lift some loose floorboards to get by the pipes. It's about navigating to reach something.
Okay. What about stay behind? The outline says not do as much work or payments as you should.
Right. Behind clearly means lagging, not keeping up. It carries a negative sense of falling short of requirements.
So, like falling behind on your rent.
Exactly. The example. If you stay behind with the rent, you will be asked to leave.
Yeah.
It highlights the consequences of not keeping up.
Right. Now, a much more direct one, get off. Used to tell someone to leave.
Very direct, often angry. Off signifies removal, departure, forcefully.
Like, get off my land.
Pretty much. The example is a strong warning. Get off home now or I'll call the police.
Okay. On a nicer note, get along. If people get along, they like each other.
Yes. Along suggests moving together harmoniously, having a friendly relationship.
So I really get along well with my colleagues.
Perfect. The example is a general wish. I just want to get along with everyone, aiming for social harmony.
Good aim. Okay, now we're getting into cars and driving. First, back up.
Simple one. Making the car go backwards, in reverse. Back is the key here.
Like when you're parking, you need to back up a little more.
Exactly. Or the example, the bus had to back up and turn around because the road was blocked.
Got it. Driving too fast, you need to slow down.
Obvious one, right? Down means decrease speed.
Crucial for safety. Slow down. There's a school ahead.
Definitely. The example, you drive around corners too fast, just slow down a bit. Safety advice.
And the opposite, if you need to go faster.
That's speed up. Up means increase speed.
Like when merging onto a highway, you need to speed up to match the traffic flow.
Right. Or the example, you can speed up a bit once you pass the traffic lights when conditions allow.
Okay. When a car starts moving and leaves, it drives off.
Yep. Off suggests departure from that spot.
He finished his coffee, got in the car, and drove off.
Exactly. The example adds a little drama. He was just about to drive off when the secretary came running out. A sudden departure almost missed something.
When a driver stops at the side, maybe to let someone out.
That's often pull in. In suggests moving into the side, away from the main traffic.
Taxi pulled in at the curb.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The example involves the police. The police car signaled to us to pull in. An instruction to stop at the side.
And the opposite, moving from the side back into traffic.
That's pull out. Out signifies moving out into the flow.
Requires care. Look carefully before you pull out.
Absolutely. The example is a warning. Don't pull out. There's a car coming. Essential safety.
How about getting into a car?
Simple. Get in. In means enter.
Come on, get in. We're late.
Exactly. The example is an invitation. He invited us to get in the car and go for a drive with him.
And when a car stops, especially at a destination,
That's often pull up. Up suggests it's coming to a final halt.
a fancy car pulled up outside the hotel.
Yep. Or the example, focusing on the sound. I heard a car pull up in front of the apartment late last night. Signifying arrival.
Before you drive off, the most important thing.
Buckle up. Fasten your seatbelt.
Up, signifying the fastening action.
Absolutely essential safety. Everyone buckle up. The example. Don't forget to buckle up before driving off. A crucial reminder.
What if you need to stop at the side of the road briefly? Maybe because the police tell you to.
That's pull over. Over means moving to the side.
Like pull in, but maybe more temporary, or often used when instructed?
Often, yes. Or if you need to check something, we had to pull over because we had a flat tire. The example. Okay. We signaled the taxi driver to pull over, requesting a stop at the side.
Before a long trip, you need gas.
You need to fill up the tank. Up means make it full.
Practical necessity. Let's stop at the next service station and fill up.
Exactly. The example. I need to fill up the tank before we go. Simple preparation.
Okay, a serious one. Hitting someone with a vehicle.
That's knock down. Down suggests the impact causing someone to fall.
A terrible consequence. Drive carefully in residential areas. You don't want to knock anyone down.
Precisely. The example is a stark warning. Be careful, otherwise you will knock someone down with your car.
When following directions, you often need to leave one road for another.
You turn off. Off means leaving the current road.
Like turn off the main road at the next set of traffic lights.
Exactly. The example, turn off the motorway at the next exit. Clear driving direction.
What about blocking someone's path with your car?
In a driving context, that's cut off.
Off suggests blocking or severing their path.
Like that dangerous maneuver when someone pulls in front of you too closely.
Exactly. That white van just cut me off. Very dangerous. The example uses it for police action. A police car cut off his escape route, blocking the way.
Another very dangerous one. Driving over someone or something.
That's run over. Over indicates driving across the top of something.
Horrible thought. Always check behind your car before reversing so you don't run anything over.
Crucial advice. The example highlights a near miss. He was nearly run over by a car. A close call.
And finally for this section, if your car stops working.
It breaks down. Down signifies a failure, a stop in function. The traveler's nightmare. Our car broke down on the motorway.
Yep. The example accepts it as a possibility. The car might break down, but that's a chance we'll have to take. Accepting risk.
Phew. That's a lot of movement. Ready to shift to emotions and reactions.
Absolutely. How we talk about feelings is full of these too. What's first?
Hit out, meaning to physically strike at someone or something.
Right. Out suggests a sudden outward motion, often in anger or defense.
Like lashing out.
Exactly. He was so angry he wanted to hit out at the wall. The example connects it to uncontrolled emotion. Many people see anger as an uncontrollable emotion that causes people to hit out.
And leaving angrily.
That's storm out. Out again for departure, but storm adds that feeling of anger and force.
Like slamming the door on your way out?
Precisely. A visible, angry exit. After the argument, she stormed out of the room. The example asks why. Why did the man storm out of the manager's office?
Losing your temper suddenly.
That's often blow up like an explosion of anger.
A sudden, intense outburst.
Exactly. He's usually calm, but he just blew up when they criticized his work. The example. What did it take to make Paul blow up? Looking for the trigger.
In extreme anger leading to destroying things.
Smash up. Up, suggesting complete destruction into pieces.
Violent breaking.
Yes. In his rage, he started to smash up the furniture. The example. He just wanted to smash up the nearest object to him. Pure destructive anger.
How about telling someone angrily to go away?
A very rude one is push off. Off implies a forceful dismissal, telling them to remove themselves.
Highly impolite. Just push off and leave me alone.
Exactly. The example is just that. Push off and leave me alone. Blunt.
Becoming extremely emotional, fear, panic, excitement.
That's often freak out.
Yep.
Out, suggesting a loss of control, going outside normal emotional boundary.
Like, don't freak out, but I lost the tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, she freaked out when she saw the spider. The example shows anticipation. We'll freak out if you don't turn up, expecting a strong reaction.
Similar ideas, go mad or go crazy.
Right. Losing control. Becoming extremely angry or irrational.
Like, my dad will go mad if he sees the scratch on his car.
Exactly. The example uses parental anger. She knew her mother would go mad if she didn't get home on time.
What's the opposite of all this intensity?
To calm down. Down signifies reducing the intensity, becoming peaceful.
Essential for stopping arguments. Okay, let's both just calm down and talk about this.
Exactly. The example, calm down and tell me what happened. A request to de-escalate.
When friends argue and stop being friends.
They fall out. Out suggests separation, falling out of friendship.
A common thing, unfortunately. They used to be best friends, but they fell out over something silly.
Yep. The example suggests a common cause. Most married people fall out over money. A point of conflict.
Preparing for a fight or argument.
To square up to someone, up to, suggests facing them directly, ready for confrontation.
Getting ready to argue or compete?
Right. The two boxers squared up to each other before the match. The example praises confronting a bully. That was brave of him to square up to that big man who threatened him.
Attacking someone verbally really strongly.
To tear into them. Into suggests a forceful, almost physical engagement with words.
Like ripping them apart verbally.
Exactly. The coach tore into the team after their terrible performance. The example is intense. He would tear into them with every swear word you could imagine. Very aggressive.
Similar, I mean, lay into.
Very similar. Can be physical or a very strong verbal attack. Into, again for a forceful engagement.
She really laid into him for forgetting her birthday.
Perfect. The example describes a physical fight. He laid to a man twice his size. Either physical or very strong verbal criticism.
What about confronting someone to solve a problem?
To have it out with them. Out suggests bring the issue into the open.
A direct discussion to clear the air, even if it's difficult.
Exactly. I finally decided to have it out with my flatmate about the mess. The example wants a final resolution. I need to have it out with her once and for all.
Suddenly saying something loudly.
To burst out. Out, like a sudden emission of words or sound.
Like bursting out laughing.
Yes, or crying or shouting something. He burst out with the answer before anyone else. The example describes a sudden departure. The boy burst out of the room. Implies suddenness and maybe strong emotion.
Not letting bad things affect you.
To rise above it. Above signifies staying higher than the negative influence.
Showing resilience.
Exactly. She managed to rise above the nasty rumors and focus on her work. The example connects it to overcoming disability. She had the courage and determination to rise above her physical disability. Real strength.
We had tell-off before, but here in the emotional context.
Still means scolding someone angrily for doing wrong. Off for the reprimand, expressing displeasure.
Reinforces the disciplinary side. My mom used to tell me off for not eating my greens.
Exactly. The example shows someone reacting badly to the idea of being told off. Don't tell me off, I'm not in a good mood.
Okay, the last emotion one seems practical. Zip up. Fastening clothes.
Yeah, that one's a bit of an outlier here, isn't it? The connection to emotion is, tenuous at best.
Maybe feeling secure or warm affects emotion.
Perhaps that's the angle. Feeling zipped up and warm provides comfort, which is linked to emotion, but fundamentally it's a practical action. Zip up your jacket, it's cold out there. It's just practical advice for warmth.
Fair enough. Let's move on to clothing phrasal verbs then, starting with try on.
Essential for shopping. Putting clothes on to see if they fit. On means placing onto your body.
I need to try on these jeans before I buy them.
Exactly. The example. I'd like to try on that blue wool coat. Standard shopping phrase.
And the opposite. Removing clothes.
Take off. Off signifies removal from the body.
It's warm in here. I'm going to take off my jumper.
Yep, the example. I saw him take off his coat and put it on the back seat. Simple removal.
Putting clothes on quickly and easily.
To slip on. On for dressing. Slip for the smooth, quick movement.
I'll just slip on some shoes and I'll be ready.
Perfect. Suggests speed, lack of fuss. The example. Let me quickly slip on my dress. Quick dressing.
Getting dressed warmly for cold weather.
To wrap up. Up suggests being fully enclosed in warm clothes.
Make sure you wrap up well. It's freezing outside.
Exactly. The example. Remember to wrap up warmly on cold days. General advice for staying warm.
Fastening clothes buttons, zippers.
To do up. Up signifies closing or securing the garment.
Can you help me do up this zip at the back?
Common request. The example is similar. She asked me to do up her dress for her at the back, assisting with fastening.
Putting clothes away properly.
To hang up. Placing on a hanger or hook.
Yeah.
Up for suspending the garment.
Essential for avoiding messy rooms. Please hang up your coat instead of throwing it on the chair.
The eternal struggle. The example. How many times have I told you to hang up your clothes? A familiar household refrain.
Removing shoes casually.
To kick off your shoes. Off for removal. Kick for the quick foot-checking action.
Suggest relaxing when you get home.
Totally. Finally home. Time to kick off my shoes. The example. Relax and kick off your shoes. Encouraging comfort.
Making clothes smaller if they're too big.
To take in. In signifies bringing the fabric inwards, reducing the size.
An alteration. The skirt is too loose. I need to get it taken in.
Right. The example explains why. You've lost some weight and your suit doesn't fit. I'll have to take it in. Adjusting for fit.
Making clothes shorter if they're too long.
To take up. Up suggests shortening from the bottom. Hemming.
These trousers are way too long. I need to take them up.
Common alteration. The example. The trousers are too long. We need to take them up so they fit you. Shortening for length.
Put on, again, specifically for getting dressed.
Yep. Reinforces the basic act of wearing clothes. On for placing on the body.
What are you going to put on for the party?
Exactly. The example. He put on his best clothes for the party. Dressing for an occasion.
Putting clothes on really quickly, maybe carelessly.
Chuck on. Chuck implies speed, informality. On for dressing.
I overslept. I'll just check on a t-shirt and jeans.
Yes. Suggests haste. The example. Chuck on a coat and let's go. I don't want to miss the train. Speed is key.
Drawing clothes outside after washing.
To hang out the washing. Out for putting them outside.
On a washing line. It's a sunny day. Let's hang the washing out.
Exactly. The example describes it as a chore. My job was to hang out the washing. A household task.
Displaying your clothes proudly.
To show off.
Yeah.
Off suggests displaying for others.
Like wanting people to notice your new outfit.
Yep. She loves showing off her expensive designer bags. The example. She did a quick twirl to show off her dress, displaying with pride.
Waiting in line, maybe to buy clothes.
To line up. Up suggests forming the queue.
A common shopping experience, unfortunately. We had to line up for ages to pay.
Often the case. The example mentions a long wait for shoes. We had to line up for over 2 hours to buy a new pair of shoes.
Right. Moving on to conversation phrasal verbs. How we talk. First, talk down.
This one means to discuss something or someone in a way that makes them seem less important or valuable. Down implies lowering or belittling.
Kind of dismissive or disrespectful.
Exactly. Stop talking down my ideas before you've even heard them properly. The example shows taking offense. How dare you talk down to me like that? Condescending.
Simply discussing a topic.
Talk about. About indicates the subject.
Very basic. We need to talk about the weekend plans.
Yep. The example initiates a discussion. I've got something to talk about with you.
Avoiding the main point, talking indirectly.
To talk round a subject.
Yeah.
Round suggests circling it without getting to the core.
Beating around the bush.
Exactly. Often to avoid something difficult. He kept talking around the issue instead of just telling me what was wrong. The example. He would talk round the subject instead of getting to the point. Avoiding directness.
Persuading someone not to do something.
To talk out of. Out of signifies dissuading from an action.
Convincing them not to go ahead. Her friends tried to talk her out of buying such an expensive car.
Right. The example. We need to talk John out of going to the cinema tomorrow because of an exam. Persuasion against.
Talking for a long time without stopping.
Talk nonstop. Or talk away. Away suggests time passing while talking.
Like someone who is very chatty. My aunt can talk nonstop for hours.
We all know someone like that. The example. She can sometimes talk for hours on end. Prolonged conversation.
Discussing a problem completely, especially with disagreements.
To talk through. Through suggests a complete detailed discussion from start to finish, aiming for resolution.
Like working through differences.
Exactly. Couples often need to talk through their problems. The example. They need to sit down to talk through their differences. Conflict resolution.
Replying rudely, especially to someone in authority.
To talk back. Back suggests a defiant or contrary response.
Usually considered impolite. Children shouldn't talk back to their teachers.
Generally frowned upon, yeah. The example. Small children should not talk back to their parents. Discipline aspect.
Speaking to someone like they're less intelligent. Condescendingly.
To talk down to them. Down to emphasizes that superior condescending tone.
Really dislike that. My boss sometimes talks down to the junior employees, and it's awful.
Is disrespectful. The example advises against it. Try not to talk down to your staff. Treat people as equals.
Explaining how to do something step by step.
To talk someone through it. Through, again, for a complete explanation, guiding them.
Like giving instructions. Can you talk me through how to use this new software?
Perfect. Patient guidance. The example. Allow time to talk through any areas of difficulty, providing detailed instruction.
Speak up, again talking louder in conversation.
Yep, same meaning. Up for increasing volume. Essential for being heard.
Sorry, could you speak up? I didn't catch that.
Exactly. The example. Speak up a bit, please. We can't hear you. Direct request for audibility.
Talk over, meaning to discuss a subject.
Yes, a general discussion, over suggesting covering the topic.
We need to talk over the arrangements for the meeting.
Right. The example, though, shows ending a discussion. I don't want to talk over it anymore. Finish talking about it.
And finally, just having a conversation.
Talk with. With, indicating the interaction between people.
Simple. I enjoyed talking with you.
Exactly. The example is a request for privacy. I wish to have a private conversation. Could we talk with you in my office? Should we talk with me? Correcting the example slightly for natural flow. Let's rephrase that example. I wish to have a private conversation with you.
Right, talk with you. Okay, got it. Phew. Conversation covered. Now, cutting and reducing.
Let's chop into it. First, cut down on...
Reducing the amount of something, right? Like sugar or spending. Down for decrease.
Exactly. Often for health or budget reasons. I need to cut down on coffee. The example. The doctor told me to cut down on red meat. Health advice.
The basic verb, cut. Using a knife, scissors.
Just the fundamental action of dividing or separating with a sharp tool. Not phrasal on its own, but the base for others.
Like the example used earlier. He cut off a piece of bread. The action is cutting.
Precisely.
What about cut back? Also reducing size or amount.
Yes, very similar to cut down. Back suggests returning to a smaller amount, often used for budgets or resources.
We had to cut back on expenses this month.
Good example. The transcript's example was about deforestation. Half of the forest has been cut back to make way for the road, reducing the size of the forest.
Cutting something into smaller pieces.
Cut up?
Up.
Suggesting dividing into multiple parts.
Common in cooking. Cut up the onions finely.
Exactly. The example, she cut up the meat into small pieces. Food prep.
Making a path by cutting.
Cut through. Through suggests moving from one side to the other by cutting an opening.
Like cutting through thick jungle.
Yep. Or the example, you need a powerful saw to cut through metal, overcoming a solid barrier.
Taking a shortcut through an area.
To cut across. Across suggests moving directly from one side to the other, not around the edge.
Let's cut across the park. It's quicker.
Exactly. The example. We can save some time if we cut across this field. Taking a shortcut.
Cut in on, meaning reducing available time or money.
Yeah. In on suggests encroaching, taking a share, reducing what's available.
Like emergency repairs really cut in on our savings.
Right. A negative impact.
Yeah.
The example, the increase in wages cut in on the company's profits. Financial impact.
And cut in can also mean interrupting someone speaking.
Yes. In suggests entering the ongoing conversation, interrupting.
Often seen as rude. Please don't cut in while I'm talking.
Right. The example, I was just talking to John when David cut in. Social interruption.
Removing something from a larger piece.
Cut off. Off suggests separation, detachment by cutting.
Like cutting the label off clothes.
Good one. Or the example, she cut his picture off from the magazine, separating it.
And the phrase, cut it out.
Ah, yes. A direct command to stop doing something annoying. Out implies stopping the behavior.
Like telling kids to stop messing about. Hey, you two, cut it out.
Exactly. The example, I'm fed up with you two arguing, just cut it out. Stop the annoyance.
Okay, cutting done. Now, giving and checking. First, give away.
Meaning, give something for free. Away, indicating it's given without expecting return.
Like free samples or prizes.
Exactly. The store is giving away free chocolates with every purchase over 10 pounds. The example. We have 6 copies of the book to give away. Free distribution.
Returning something you borrowed.
Give back. Back clearly means return to owner.
Don't forget to give back my pen when you're finished.
Yep, the example. When can you give back the money you owe? Repayment.
Give in. Handing in work or documents.
Yes, submitting something officially. In suggests handing it inwards, submitting.
Like handing in your homework. You must give in your essays by Friday.
Right. The example. You must give in your papers now. Formal submission.
And give into, meaning surrender to an emotion or temptation.
Yes. Succumbing. Losing resistance. Into. Suggests yielding to that pressure.
I tried to resist, but I finally gave in and ate the cake.
Huh. Common scenario. The example encourages emotional release. Please give in to crying. Allowing emotion.
Distributing something to a group.
Give out. Out. Suggests distribution outwards to multiple people.
Like giving out flyers or worksheets. The teacher gave out the test papers.
Exactly. The example shows withholding information. He wouldn't give out any information. Refusing to distribute.
Okay, now checking. Check on.
Means to examine the condition of something or someone. Make sure it's okay. On suggests monitoring the current state.
Like checking on a sleeping baby.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Or checking your work, like the example. Please check on your work and correct any mistakes. Verification.
Check out looking at something to form an opinion.
Yeah, investigating or exploring something. Out suggests looking into it.
Let's check out that new cafe later.
Exactly. The example. Oh, and check out that new club. Exploration.
Making a mark on a list.
Check off. Off signifies completion, marking it as done.
Like ticking items off a to-do list.
Precisely. The example is verifying packages. Check off these packages before they are posted. Confirmation.
Registering arrival at a hotel or airport.
Check in. In signifies registering your presence.
The start of your stay or journey. We need to check in for our flight 2 hours before departure.
Right. The example, we'll check in at a motel as soon as we reach New York. Arrival process.
Returning later to see if everything's okay.
Check back with. Back for returning with, for communicating again. Follow up.
I'll check back with you tomorrow to see how you're doing.
Good one. The example,
I'll
check back with you next week. Scheduling a follow-up.
Right. Now for cleaning phrasal verbs. First, wash up.
The classic chore. Cleaning dishes after a meal. Up. Suggesting tidying completely.
Whose turn is it to wash up tonight?
Exactly. The example shows routine. The girl helps her mother to wash up after dinner every day. Household task.
Wash over. A feeling affecting someone suddenly.
Yeah, like a wave. Over suggests engulfing someone. Often emotions.
A feeling of calm washed over me.
Nice example. The transcript's example suggests a lack of impact. The television headlines seem to wash over her without meaning anything. Sudden impact, but not registering.
Cleaning the inside of a container.
Wash out. Out. For removing the contents or residue by washing.
Like washing out a jam jar before recycling it.
Exactly. The example. It was my job to wash out the fish tank. Specific cleaning task.
Removing dirt from a surface with water.
Wash off. Off for removing something from the surface.
Wash the mud off your boots before you come inside.
Classic parent line. The example. The boy will wash up the dirt on his knees. Removing dirt.
Water carrying something away.
Wash away.
Yeah.
Away clearly indicating removal by water.
Like rain washing dirt off the car.
Yep. Or the example about cleaning stains. Can you wash away the stains on the windows? Using water force for cleaning.
Okay, cleaning, done. Next category, coming and going. Starting with come back.
Returning. Back for the return direction. Basic but essential.
I'll come back later.
Right. The example adds uncertainty. I'm going away and I may never come back. Possibility of no return.
Accompanying someone?
Come along. Along suggests moving together with someone. An invitation.
We're going to the park. Do you want to come along?
Exactly. The example. Why don't you come along too? Direct invitation.
Come by or come over, meaning acquire something.
Yeah, managing to get something, often unexpectedly. By or over can suggest chance or indirectness.
How did you come by that antique vase? Like, how did you find it?
Exactly. The example. How did you come by these pictures? Asking about acquisition.
How something happened or occurred.
Come about. About suggests the unfolding or origin of an event.
How did this situation come about? Asking for the cause.
Right. The example. How did the problem come about in the first place? Origin of an issue.
Appearing or becoming visible.
Come out. Out for moving from hidden to visible.
Like the sun coming out?
Or flowers or secrets. The example. These animals only come out at night. Nocturnal appearance.
Becoming hostile to someone.
Turn against. Against clearly indicates the shift to opposition.
His allies suddenly turned against him. Change in loyalty.
Yes. The example. Why did they suddenly turn against you? Seeking the reason for hostility.
Rejecting an offer.
Turn down. Down suggests refusal.
He turned down the job offer.
Right. The example. Why did she turn down your invitation? Asking for the reason for rejection.
Stopping a machine.
Turn off. For ceasing function.
Please turn off the TV.
Yep. The example. Please turn off the alarm clock. Stopping a device.
Going back the way you came.
Turn back. Back for reversing direction.
We realized we were lost and had to turn back.
Exactly. The example suggests doing it due to time. It's getting late. Perhaps we should turn back. Reversing course.
Changing into something different.
Turn into. Into signifies transformation.
Like water turning into ice?
Or the classic example. Caterpillars turn into butterflies. Metamorphosis.
Failing to keep up.
Fall behind. Behind indicates lagging.
He's fallen behind with his studies, not keeping pace academically.
Right. The example. He doesn't want to fall behind in his studies. Trying to keep up.
Breaking into pieces, literally or metaphorically.
Fall apart. Apart signifies separating into pieces.
Like an old chair falling apart or a plan falling apart.
Both work. The example is literal. If you buy cheap shoes, they will fall apart. Poor quality.
A plan or arrangement failing to happen.
Fall through. Through suggests not reaching completion successfully.
Our plans to meet up fell through. Didn't happen.
Exactly. The example. I think the new business deal will fall through. Failure of an event.
Being deceived or tricked.
Fall for. For suggests being taken in by the deception.
He fell for the scam and lost a lot of money, believing something untrue.
Right. The example shows immunity. She won't fall for such a stupid trick. Not easily fooled.
Losing balance and dropping to the ground.
Fall over. Over suggests losing the upright position.
Be careful not to trip and fall over.
Exactly. The example. Take care not to fall over the ladder. Hazard warning.
Getting rid of unwanted things.
Throw away or throw out. Away and out. Both indicate disposal.
I need to throw away these old magazines.
Yep. The example. I had to throw away the leftovers. Discarding food.
Avoiding going near something.
Way for maintaining distance.
Keep away from the fire. Safety warning.
Right. The example. You must keep away from the dog. Maintaining distance from an animal.
Removing some.
Take away. Away for removal.
Please take away the dirty plates.
Yep. The example. Take away your glasses in the tray. Removal of item.
You're refusing admission.
Turn away. Away suggests rejection. Denial of entry.
They were turned away at the door because the club was full.
Right. The example. The stadium was crowded, and they had to turn away hundreds of disappointed fans. Denial of entry.
Leaving or escaping due to fear or unhappiness.
Run away. Away for escape.
The frightened rabbit ran away. Fleeing danger.
Exactly. The example. His first instinct was to run away from danger. Fleeing.
Storing something in its usual place.
Put aside. Aside suggests placing to the side for storage or later use.
Put aside the clean laundry to fold later.
Good one. The example. The fruit should be carefully put aside. Careful storage.
Getting so excited you lose control.
Be carried away. Away suggests being taken beyond normal control by emotion.
I got carried away at the auction and bid too much. Losing control due to excitement.
Yes. The example. I got completely carried away and almost cried. Overwhelming emotion.
Go away, again leaving a place.
Reinforces departure. Away for leaving.
Please go away and leave me alone.
Right. The example suggests avoiding a problem. He was tempted to go away from the problem, leaving a situation.
Pass away, the gentle term for dying.
Yes, away softens it. Suggests peaceful departure. Euphemism.
Her grandfather passed away last year.
Right. The example. Her loving husband did not know that he would pass away. Reinforces the meaning.
Stay away from not going near. Similar to keep away.
Yes. Away for maintaining distance. A warning.
Stay away from the construction site. It's dangerous.
Exactly. The example. I want you to stay away from my daughter. Strong warning.
Give away. Again, giving for free.
Reinforces free distribution. Away for giving without cost.
They were giving away free coffee today.
Nice. The example. We have 6 copies of the book to give away. Same meaning.
Escaping control or separating from a group.
Breakaway. Away suggests forceful separation or escape. Seeking independence.
One horse broke away from the pack. Separating.
Good one. The example. I felt the need to break away from home. Seeking independence.
Leaving in a vehicle.
Drive away. Away for departure by car.
He got in his car and drove away.
Yep. The example focuses on the sound. We heard him drive away. Departure sound.
Removing things to tidy up.
Clear away. Away suggests removal for tidiness.
Please clear away the dinner plates, tidying after a meal.
Right. The example. You can clear away all your toys now. Tidying task.
Go off again, leaving a place or person.
Reinforces departure. Off suggests leaving.
I have to go off to my meeting now.
Right. The example.
All right.
I think we need to go off and think about this. Leaving to reflect.
Turning your eyes away.
Look away. Away for diverting your gaze?
Often avoiding something unpleasant or bright. I had to look away from the graphic scene in the movie.
Yes. The example.
Yeah.
The bright light made her look away. Avoiding gaze.
Okay, that was a marathon of coming and going. Now for decline or becoming less.
Let's bring it down a notch. First, breakdown. We saw this with vehicles and emotions. Down for failure or cessation.
Right. A machine can break down. A person can break down emotionally.
Exactly. The example was the car. The car might break down, reinforcing the stop working meaning.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Becoming more relaxed. Down for reduced intensity.
Yep. Managing emotions. Try to calm down, the example. Calm down for a minute and listen. De-escalation.
Noise or feelings becoming less strong.
Die down. Down for decrease in intensity. Gradual fading.
The excitement eventually died down after the concert.
Good one. The example. He waited for the applause to die down. Reduction in sound intensity.
Come down, moving to a lower level physically.
Yes. Down for lower position, like coming downstairs.
Or the example, please come down from that wall. Safety instruction regarding height.
Right?
Cut down, reducing amount. Down for decrease. Reinforces the earlier meaning.
Yep. Cutting down on spending, sugar, etc. The example. I'm trying to cut down on dairy products. Dietary reduction.
Get down to starting serious work. This one's different, right? Not decline.
Correct. It's about starting seriously, focusing efforts, not really decline.
Like, let's get down to business. Initiating serious work.
Exactly.
Admitting you're wrong or yielding in an argument.
Back down. Down suggests yielding, retreating from a position.
He refused to back down, even when proven wrong. Stubborn.
Huh? Yes. The example. His critics were forced to back down. Yielding.
Resigning from a job.
Step down. Down for moving to a lower or no position.
The CEO decided to step down. Resignation.
Right. The example. The manager had to step down on account of poor health. Reason for resignation.
Talk down, making something seem less important.
Yes. Diminishing significance. Down implies lowering importance. Different from talk down to someone.
Like, don't talk down the risks involved. Acknowledge the importance.
Good example. The transcript repeats the talk down to example, though. I wish politicians wouldn't talk down to us. Condescending speech.
Okay. Putting something down gently.
Lay down. Down for lowering.
Lay down your weapons. Or, she lay the baby down carefully.
Both work. The example. They lay down under the shade of a tree.
Yeah.
Physical lowering for rest.
Hold down. Succeeding in keeping a job seems opposite of decline.
It is, really. It means maintaining a position, not declining. Down here implies keeping it stable, under control perhaps.
It's hard to hold down a job when you're unwell. Difficulty maintaining employment.
Right. The example. He was unable to hold down a job after his breakdown. Inability to maintain.
Turn down. Rejecting an offer. Decline an opportunity.
Could be seen that way. Down for refusal. Reinforces the earlier meaning.
She turned down the promotion. Rejecting an opportunity.
Exactly. The example. I had to turn down a job offer because the pay was too low. Reason for rejection.
Becoming less noisy.
Quiet down. Down for decrease in noise level.
Could you all quiet down, please? The baby's sleeping.
Right. The example. Quiet down and get ready for bed. Instruction to reduce noise.
Becoming cooler.
Cool down. Down for decrease in temperature.
Let the tea cool down before you drink it.
Yep. The example. He waited for the soup to cool down a bit. Lowering temperature.
Failing to support someone. Disappointing them.
Let down. Down suggests layering someone's spirits or expectations.
I feel like I really let my team down, causing disappointment.
Yes. The example. The manager thought they had let down the firm. Feeling of failure.
Collapsing to the ground.
Fall down. Down for movement to a lower level, collapsing. Reinforces earlier meaning.
The old building might fall down soon. Risk of collapse.
Right. The example. What if you fall down the steps? Warning about falling?
Okay, decline covered. Now, finding and leaving out. Track down.
Searching for something hard to find. Down suggests a persistent search until found.
The police are trying to track down the suspect. Persistent search.
Exactly. The example. He finally managed to track down the book he wanted. Successful, difficult search.
Discovering information.
Find out. Out for bringing information to light. Basic learning.
I need to find out when the meeting starts. Seeking information.
Right. The example. How did you find out about the party? discovering news.
Not including something.
Leave out. Out for exclusion.
Don't leave out any important details in your report. Omission.
Right. The example. The journalist decided to leave out certain details. Intentional omission.
Arranging untidy things. Organizing.
Sort out. Out suggests bringing order from chaos.
I need to sort out this pile of papers. Organizing.
Exactly. The example. Sort out things you want to keep. Organization and disposal.
Distributing.
Hand out. Out for distribution to a group.
Could you hand out these leaflets? Giving out materials.
Right. The example. Please hand out the reading materials. Distributing.
Removing all contents.
Empty out. Out for removing everything inside.
Empty out your pockets before going through security.
Yep. The example. Empty out the contents of his bag. Complete removal.
Eating in a restaurant.
Eat out. Out for eating outside the home. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Let's eat out tonight. Having a meal at a restaurant.
Right. The example. When I lived in Spain, I used to eat out all the time. Past habit.
Failing to include someone or missing an opportunity.
Miss out. Out for being excluded from something beneficial.
I was ill, so I missed out on the party. Failure to participate.
Exactly. The example. Don't miss out on the fantastic bargains. Missing an opportunity.
Leaving someone to leave.
Let out.
Oh.
Out for permitting exit.
Can you let the dog out? Allowing an animal to go outside?
Right. The example. The cat was crying to be let out. Permission to leave.
Arranging over a large area.
Spread out. Out for expansion over a wider space.
Spread out the picnic blanket. Arranging over an aerial.
Exactly. The example. You spread out the map on the table. Expansion.
Supply being used up.
Run out of. Out of for depletion. Reinforces earlier meaning.
We've run out of coffee. Supply exhausted.
Right. The example. We've run out of toilet roll. Common shortage.
Okay, finding and leaving out done. Now, looking phrasal verbs. Look at.
Directing your gaze, or considering carefully, at for the object of attention.
Look at this photo, or we need to look at the budget again. Focused attention or consideration.
Both work. The example. The teacher told us to look at the blackboard. Focused visual attention.
Visiting and exploring a place.
Look round. Round suggests exploring the surroundings. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Let's look around the town this afternoon. Sightseeing.
Right. The example. I wanted to look around Paris. Exploring a city.
Thinking about the future.
Look ahead. Ahead for future focus.
We need to look ahead and plan for the next 5 years. Forward thinking.
Exactly. The example. We should look ahead and spare a thought for future generations, considering the future.
Taking care of someone or something.
Look after. After suggests responsibility and care. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Will you look after my plants while I'm away? Taking care of something.
Right. The example. Your car will last longer if you look after it. Maintenance and care.
Reading quickly.
Look through, suggests a quick passage. Skimming.
I'll just look through these notes before the meeting. Quick examination.
Right. The example. Added a brief look through the report. Quick read.
Examining quickly, maybe slightly more carefully.
Look over. Over suggests a general inspection or review.
Could you look over my presentation slides? Brief review.
Exactly. The example. Let me look over my schedule. Quick check.
Thinking about the past.
Look back on. Back on. For reflection on past events. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Looking back, I realize I made a mistake. Reflecting on the past.
Right. The example. She can look back on her career with satisfaction. Reflection.
Let's cheer for something.
Look for. For indicates the object of the search. Reinforces earlier meaning.
I'm looking for my keys, trying to find something.
Exactly. The example. He began to look for a new job. Searching for employment.
Okay, looking done. Now, taking phrasal verbs. Take off. Airplane leaving the ground.
Yes. Off for separation from the ground. Reinforces flight context.
The flight took off on time. Start a flight.
Right. The example. The plane will take off in 20 minutes. Imminent departure.
Starting a new hobby.
Take up. Up for beginning something new. Reinforces hobby context.
I decided to take up photography. Starting a new activity.
Right. The example. Some people take up yoga. Beginning a hobby.
Writing down spoken words.
Take down. Down for recording onto a surface. Note-taking. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Please take down these instructions carefully. Writing notes.
Right. The example. I need to take down notes. Act of recording information.
Accepting a job or responsibility.
Take on. On for accepting an additional task. Reinforces earlier meaning.
She agreed to take on the role of team leader. Accepting responsibility.
Right. The example. Don't take on more than you can handle. Advice against overcommitment.
Comprehending something.
Take in. In for absorbing information. Reinforces earlier meaning.
It was a lot of information to take in at once. Understanding.
Right, the example. He found it difficult to take in the situation. Comprehending.
Removing something.
Take out. Out for removal. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Can you take out the recycling? Removing waste.
Right, the example. It's your turn to take out the garbage. Household chore.
Okay, taking covered. Now, keeping phrasal verbs. Keep off. Not touching.
Yes, off for staying separate from a surface. Warning not to touch or step on. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Keep off the wet paint. Instruction not to touch.
Exactly, the example. Please keep off the grass. Common sign.
Avoiding something.
Keep away from. Away for maintaining distance. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Keep away from the edge. Safety warning.
Right, the example. Keep away from the doors. Maintaining distance.
Continuing to do something.
Keep on. On for persistence. Continuation. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Just keep on trying. Don't give up. Encouragement to continue.
Right, the example. We'll keep on driving. Continuing an action.
Then moving at the same rate.
Keep up with.
Up with for maintaining the same pace. Reinforces earlier meaning.
I struggle to keep up with the fast pace of change, not falling behind.
Right, the example. You're walking too fast. I can't keep up. Maintaining pace.
Keeping done. Now, going phrasal verbs, go after, trying to get something.
Yes, after suggests pursuit of a goal. Reinforces earlier meaning.
He decided to go after the promotion, pursuing an opportunity.
Right, the example. I can't decide whether to go after the job. Considering pursuit.
Opposing something.
Go against. Against for opposition.
That decision goes against everything we believe in. Being contrary to principles? Exactly. The example. This misbehavior will go against his promotion chances. Negative impact.
Returning.
Go back. Back for return. Reinforces earlier meaning.
I need to go back for my umbrella. Returning for something forgotten.
Right. The example. I must go back. I've left my keys. Necessity to return.
Attending an event.
Go along to. Along to suggests attending, often accompanying someone. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Are you going along to the meeting later? Attending an event?
Right. The example. I might go along to the party, possibly attending.
Leaving a place.
Go away. Away for departure reinforces earlier meaning.
I need to go away for the weekend. Leaving for a period.
Right. The example. I think we need to go away and think. Leaving to reflect.
Going covered. Now putting phrasal verbs put on. Starting to wear something.
Yes. On for placing on the body reinforces clothing context.
Put on your coat. It's cold. Getting dressed.
Right. The example.
Yeah.
I put on a new pair of socks. Simple act of dressing.
Delaying something.
Put off. Off suggests postponement. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Don't put off studying for the exam. Avoiding procrastination.
Right. The example. Never put off until tomorrow. Famous saying.
Placing inside.
Put in. In for insertion. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Put the milk in the fridge. Placing inside.
Right. The example. He was put in prison. Placing inside a system place.
Laying something out ready.
Put out. Out for laying out for use or display. Preparation.
Can you put out the snacks for the party? Preparing items.
Right. The example. Have you put out clean towels? Preparation for guests.
Explaining an idea clearly.
Put across. Across for conveying effectively. Reinforces earlier meaning.
He's very good at putting his ideas across, communicating clearly.
Right. The example. He was trying to put across a serious point, explaining an idea.
Putting done. Now, getting phrasal verbs again. Get across. Making people understand.
Yes, across for conveying understanding. Reinforces successful communication.
It's important to get your message across clearly. Effective communication.
Right. The example. This is the message we want to get across. Conveying information.
Traveling to different places.
Get around. Around for movement in various directions within an area. Reinforces ease of travel.
The new metro system makes it easy to get around the city, traveling within an area.
Right. The example. It's easy to get around London. Ease of movement.
Being successful.
Get ahead. Ahead for forward progress. Reinforces career advancement.
Hard work is needed to get ahead, achieving success.
Right. The example. She wants to get ahead in her career. Ambition.
Reaching something.
Get at. At for reaching a specific point, often with difficulty. Reinforces earlier meaning.
The cat is trying to get at the fish tank, trying to reach something.
Right. The example. Lift some floorboards to get at the pipes. Reaching something obscured.
Leaving or escaping.
Get away. Away for departure or escape. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Let's get away from the noise, escaping a situation.
Right. The example. We walk to the next beach to get away. Escaping crowds.
Starting something seriously.
It's down to. Down to, for focusing efforts. Reinforces initiating serious work.
Time to get down to revision. Starting serious study.
Right. The example. We get down to some serious talking. Starting serious discussion.
Making progress with something.
Get on with. On with, for continuing a task. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Stop chatting and get on with your homework. Continuing work.
Right. The example. Stop talking and get on with your work. Making progress.
Being connected by phone.
Get through. Through, for achieving connection. Reinforces telephone context.
I finally got through after trying all day. Successful connection.
Right. The example. I tried to phone but couldn't get through. Failure to connect.
People meeting socially.
Get together. Together for gathering.
Let's get together for coffee soon. Social meeting.
Right. The example. Every week they get together to make music. Social interaction.
Returning to a place.
Get back. Back for return. Reinforces earlier meaning.
When will you get back from your trip? Returning.
Right. The example. What time will you get back? Asking about return time.
Getting verbs covered again. Now backing phrasal verbs. Back away. Moving backwards from someone.
Yes. Away for moving in reverse to create distance. Often due to fear caution.
He backed away slowly from the growling dog. Retreating.
Right. The example. The dog made the postman back away. Fearful reaction.
Deciding not to do something, agreed.
Back out of.
Yeah.
Out of, for withdrawing from a commitment.
He tried to back out of the deal at the last minute, withdrawing agreement.
Right. The example. Impossible to back out after signing the contract. Withdraw from commitment.
Retreating or stopping being aggressive.
Back off. Off, for moving away from confrontation or intrusion.
Tell him to back off and leave you alone. Retreating.
Right. The example. The press agreed to back off. Giving space.
Entering a space in reverse, car, or leading something backwards.
Back into, for reversing towards a location.
He carefully backed the car into the garage, reversing into a space.
Right. The example. She led the horse back into the stable, reversing into a place.
Moving backwards a short distance.
Back up. Up suggests a short reverse movement. Reinforces driving context.
Can you back up a bit? You're blocking the drive. Moving back slightly.
Right. The example. The bus had to back up. Moving backwards.
Backing done. Now, holding phrasal verbs. Hold back. Restraining.
Yes. Back. For controlling or preventing forward movement expression. Reinforces controlling emotion action.
She struggled to hold back her laughter. Restraining an emotion.
Right. The example. She just managed to hold back her anger.
Yeah.
Restraining.
Delaying commencing.
Hold off.
Ah.
For postponing the start.
Let's hold off making a decision until we have all the facts. Postponement.
Right. The example. Could you hold off your decision? Requesting delay.
Keeping under control. Physically or like a job?
Hold down. Down. For keeping it a level or under control. Reinforces keeping a job or physical control.
It took 3 people to hold him down. Physical restraint. Or can he hold down this responsibility? Maintain control job.
Both work. The example. We must hold down the tents. Physical control.
Resisting difficult circumstances. Surviving.
Hold out. Out. For enduring through a challenge.
The defenders managed to hold out against the attack. Resisting.
Right. The example. Water supplies won't hold out much longer. Endurance of supplies.
Waiting or stopping.
Hold on. On. For temporary pause or grip. Reinforces waiting context.
Hold on, I'm coming. Waiting.
Right. The example. Hold on. I'll check my diary. Waiting.
Holding done. Now bringing phrasal verbs. Bring up. Raising a matter for discussion.
Yes. Up. For raising to attention. Introducing a topic. Not raising children in this context.
Can I bring up something at the meeting? Introducing a topic.
Right. The example. Can you bring up the list of candidates? Introducing for discussion.
Causing something to happen.
Bring about. About often indicates result consequent. Causation.
Technology has brought about huge changes. Causing change.
Right. The example. Better cultivation will bring about better crops. Causation.
Returning something.
Bring back. Back for return. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Please bring back the library books. Returning items.
Right. The example. Please bring back the book tomorrow. Returning.
Taking someone with you.
Bring along. Along for accompanying.
Feel free to bring along your partner. Accompanying someone.
Right. The example. You're welcome to bring along a friend. Accompanying.
Causing something to happen or be known.
Bring forth. Forth for bringing into existence or making known.
The inquiry may bring forth new evidence, revealing something.
Right. The example. Polluted water might bring forth diseases. Consequence causation.
Bringing done. Now, wearing phrasal verbs, deterioration. Wear away, becoming smaller through use.
Yes, away for gradual disappearance erosion through use.
The steps have worn away over the centuries. Gradual erosion.
Right. The example. The leather is starting to wear away. Gradual erosion.
Making something disappear center by user rubbing.
Wear down. Down for reduction in size thickness through use.
The pencil has worn down to a stub. Deterioration through use.
Right. The example. Engine parts will wear down if not cared for. Deterioration.
Effect feeling gradually disappearing.
Wear off. Off for gradual cessation or fading.
The novelty soon wore off, feeling disappearing.
Right. The example. The pain began to wear off. Reduction in intensity.
Used until no longer working.
Wear out. Out for complete loss of function due to wear. Reinforces earlier meaning.
I need new shoes. These ones are worn out, no longer usable.
Right. The example. My boots are beginning to wear out. Deterioration until unusable.
Wearing, deterioration, done. Now shopping and money again. Pay for. Giving money to buy.
Yes. For indicates the exchange. Reinforces basic purchasing.
How much did you pay for that? Asking the price.
Right. The example. I would like to pay for my shopping. Stating intention to buy.
Comparing prices.
Shop around. Around for looking at various options. Seeking the best deal.
It pays to shop around for insurance. Comparing prices.
Right. The example. I think I will shop around first. Seeking the best deal.
Try on clothes. Check fit.
Yes. On for placing on the body. Reinforces testing fit.
Can I try this on a larger size? Request while shopping.
Right. The example. Let me try on the jacket. Testing fit.
Returning something to a shop.
Take back. Back for return to place of purchase. Reinforces earlier meaning.
I need to take these shoes back. They're the wrong size.
Returning an item.
Right. The example. I need to take back the jacket. Returning an item.
Buying something readily available.
Pick up. Up suggests acquiring. Reinforces casual purchase.
Can you pick up some milk on your way home? Buying groceries?
Right. The example. I am going to pick up some chicken. Buying food.
Choosing something from a group.
Pick out. Out for selection from a larger set. Reinforces choosing.
Help me pick out a birthday card. Choosing an item.
Right. The example. Pick out the best potatoes. Choosing specific items.
Put on clothes. Starting to wear, maybe in shop.
Yes. On for placing on the body. Reinforces trying on wearing in shopping context.
He put on the hat to see how it looked. Trying on in store. Right. The example. James put on his new jacket. Wearing a new purchase.
Spending money freely. Indulging.
Splash out.
Oh, no.
Out suggests spending without restraint. Reinforces indulgent spending.
Let's splash out on a fancy meal. Spending freely.
Right. The example. I'm going to splash out on new clothes. Spending freely.
Spending a lot of money. Significant expense.
Shell out.
Yeah.
Out emphasizes large expenditure.
We had to shell out for a new boiler. Significant expense.
Right. The example. I'm going to shell out on a new car. Significant expense.
Beginning business for the day.
Open up. Up suggests start of activity opening.
What time does the bank open up? Starting business hours?
Right. The example. I arrived early to open up the shop. Starting business operations.
Adding up money received at end of day.
Cash up. Up for adding to a final total. Financial reconciliation.
The staff stayed late to cash up. Calculating takings.
Right. The example. We need to cash up before going home. Financial reconciliation.
Just selling things cheaply to clear stock.
Sell off. Off suggests selling at discount to get rid of items.
They're selling off last season's clothes. Clearing stock.
Right. The example. I think we should sell off the broken biscuits. Clearing stock.
Testing something before buying.
Cry out. Out for a trial period. Reinforces testing suitability.
Can I try out the car before I decide? Testing before purchase.
Right. The example. I would like to try out the computer. Testing equipment.
Reducing the
Marked down.
Right.
Down for decrease in price. Sales strategy.
These items have been marked down by 50%. Price reduction.
Right. The example. We need to mark down the price of the bananas. Reducing price.
Using up a supply.
Run out of.
Out of.
For depletion. Reinforces shopping context stock.
The shop has run out of bread. Supply exalted.
Right. The example. I have run out of milk. Personal supply exhausted.
Eating a large amount.
Pig out. On. Out suggests eating to excess. Indulgent eating.
We pigged out on popcorn at the cinema. Eating a lot.
Right. The example. Okay, let's pig out on pizza. Indulgent eating.
cut up food into small pieces.
Yes. Up for dividing into multiple parts. Reinforces food prep context.
Cut up the fruit for the salad. Food preparation.
Right. The example. She cut up the carrots. Food preparation.
Evaporating by boiling.
Boil away. Away for complete disappearance of liquid. Cooking instruction.
Let the sauce boil away until it thickens. Reducing liquid.
Right. The example. Boil away all the liquid. Cooking instruction.
Quickly making a meal.
Whip up. Up for fast, efficient preparation.
I can whip up some pasta in 15 minutes. Fast food preparation.
Right. The example. I can easily whip up an omelet. Fast food preparation.
Cutting from a larger piece.
Slice off. Off for separating a piece by cutting. Portioning food.
Slice off a piece of cake for me. Portioning food.
Right. The example. Slice off enough meat. Portioning food.
Cutting into pieces.
Chop up. Up for dividing into smaller parts. Reinforces food context.
Chop up the vegetables. Food preparation.
Right. The example. Can you chop up some carrots?
Food preparation.
Cooking by frying. Fry up. Up suggests cooking in a pan. Cooking method.
Let's fry up some bacon and eggs. Cooking method.
Right. The example. We can fry up some cold meat. Cooking method.
Eating away from home.
Eat out. Out. For eating outside the home. Reinforces restaurant context.
Do you want to eat out tonight? Eating in a restaurant?
Right. The example. I used to eat out all the time. Past habit.
Making something warm food.
Warm up. Up for increasing temperature. Reinforces food reheating.
Can you warm up the soup? Reheating food.
Right. The example. She went to warm up some food. Reheating food.
Eating less.
Cut back. Back for reducing consumption. Reinforces dietary reduction.
I need to cut back on snacks. Eating less.
Right. The example. The doctor told me to cut back on red meat. Dietary reduction.
Stopping eating something.
Cut out. Out for complete elimination from diet. Reinforces dietary elimination.
I've cut out sugar completely. Stopping eating something.
Right. The example. Try to cut out the foods that are making you fat. Dietary elimination.
Removing skin of fruit veg.
Peel off. Off for removing outer covering. Food preparation.
Peel off the potato skins. Food preparation.
Right. The example. Peel off the skins and slice the potatoes. Food preparation.
Eating only small amounts. No appetite.
Pick at. At suggests light, hesitant interaction with food. Lack of appetite.
He just picked at his food. He wasn't hungry. Eating small amounts.
Right. The example. David could only pick at his meal. Lack of appetite.
Starting eating enthusiastically.
Tuck in. In suggests getting started heartily. Encouraging eating.
Dinner's ready. Tuck in, everyone. Encouraging eating.
Right. The example. I told him to tuck in. Encouraging eating.
Eating very quickly.
Wolf down. Down suggests rapid consumption. Fast eating.
He wolfed down his lunch in 5 minutes. Eating quickly.
Right. The example. Don't wolf down all the food. Warning against fast eating.
Save up money for the future.
Yes. Up for collecting, storing. Reinforces accumulating money.
Saving up for deposit on a house. Accumulating money.
Right. The example. I'm trying to save up for my holiday. Accumulating money.
Paying full amount of debt.
Pay off. Off for completing payment. Reinforces clearing debt.
It took years to pay off the mortgage. Paying full debt.
Right. The example. I need to pay off all my debts. Clearing debt.
Giving money you owe.
Pay up. Up for settling debt.
Yeah.
Reinforces providing owed funds.
You need to pay up by Friday. Giving owed money.
Right. The example. Pay up immediately or I'll take you to court. Giving owed money under threat.
Overcharging or cheating someone.
Rip off. Off suggests cheating out of money. Reinforces overcharging.
£5 for a coffee. That's a rip-off. Overcharging.
Right. The example. That's a rip-off. Exclamation of being overcharged.
Creating a lot of debt.
Run up. Up suggests gradual increased accumulation of debt.
He ran up huge debts gambling. Accumulating debt.
Right. The example. He had run up credit card debts. Accumulating debt.
Shopping and money done. Now growing and family. Grow up. Developing into an adult.
Yes. Up for maturation. Reinforces earlier meaning.
When I grew up, I want to be a pilot. Child's aspiration.
Right. The example. Children grow up so fast. Speed of development.
Resembling a relative.
Take after. After suggests similarity. Inheriting traits.
She takes after her father with her blue eyes. Resembling a relative.
Right. The example. He's going to take after his brother. Following family pattern similarity.
Taking care of someone.
Look after. After. For care and attention. Reinforces earlier meaning.
It's important to look after your health. Taking care of something.
Right. The example. I need someone to look after the children. Childcare.
Taking care of someone old ill.
Care for. For suggests providing care support, similar to look after, often for vulnerable people.
She cares for her elderly mother,
Yeah.
taking care of someone old.
Right. The example. I have a strong desire to care for people. Desire to provide care.
Admiring someone.
Look up to. Up to suggests looking with admiration. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Many children look up to sports stars, admiring someone.
Right. The example. Tell me about a person you look up to. Admiring someone.
Doing what is expected, meeting standards.
Live up to.
Yeah.
Up to suggests reaching a certain standard. Meeting expectations.
He struggled to live up to his reputation, meeting expectations.
Right. The example. We will live up to what our parents expect. Meeting expectations.
Pass away, dying.
Yes. Away softens die. Reinforces euphemism in family context.
When did his grandmother pass away? Asking about death.
Right. The example. Her loving husband did not know he would pass away. Euphemism for death.
Behaving badly, pack up.
Up suggests disruptive behavior.
Yes.
Misbehaving.
My son always acts up when he's tired. Behaving badly.
Right. The example. The children always act up on the holidays. Misbehaving.
Speaking angrily. Scolding.
Tell off. Off for reprimand. Reinforces disciplinary context.
The teacher told him off for talking. Scolding.
Right. The example. I'm going to tell off the students.
Scolding.
Leaving home when angry scare.
Run away! Away for fleeing!
Reinforces leaving home context.
He threatened to run away from home, leaving home.
Right. The example, she wanted to run away and hide. Leaving home.
Having a good relationship.
Get along with. Along with for harmonious relationship. Reinforces family context.
Do you get along with your in-laws? Good relationship.
Right. The example. I get along with my brother and sister. Good relationship.
Living in the same house.
Live with.
Yeah.
With for cohabitation. Reinforces family context.
She still lives with her parents, living in the same house.
Right. The example. Do you live with your parents? Asking about cohabitation.
Asking someone for help.
Turn to. 2. For seeking assistance from someone. Reinforces family support context.
Who do you turn to when you have a problem? Asking for help.
Right. The example. Turn to your family in times of crisis. Seeking family support.
Ending a relationship.
Split up. Up for separation. Reinforces relationship ending.
They decided to split up after 5 years. Ending relationship.
Right. The example. She split up with her boyfriend. Ending relationship.
Making a home together. Stable life.
Settle down. Down. For becoming settledless transient. Starting stable life.
Are they planning to settle down and have kids? Starting stable life.
Right. The example. When are you going to marry and settle down? Starting stable life.
Family done. Now, activity and exercise. Join in, participating.
Yes. In for becoming part of a group activity. Inclusion.
Come and join in the game, participating.
Right. The example. I hope everyone will be able to join in the fun. Inclusion.
Starting an activity.
Take up. Up for beginning a new pursuit. Reinforces hobby activity context.
He's taken up golf. Starting an activity.
Right. The example. She didn't take up athletics until she was 20. Starting an activity.
Exercise.
Work out. Out for exerting physical effort.
Yeah.
Reinforces exercise context.
How often do you work out? Doing exercise.
Right. The example. I usually work out after work. Doing exercise.
Preparing muscles for exercise.
Warm up. Yeah. Up for preparing for a more intense activity. Reinforces pre-exercise context.
Always warm up before you run, preparing for exercise.
Right. The example. I run on the spot to warm up.
Preparing for exercise.
Leaving a competition.
Drop out of. Out of. For ceasing participation. Reinforces leaving competition context.
He dropped out of the race due to injury. Leaving competition.
Right, the example. He had to drop out of the race. Leaving competition.
Losing calories through exercise.
Work off. Off for removing through exertion. Reinforces losing calories context.
I need to work off that big lunch. Losing calories.
Right, the example. I need to go and work off some calories. Losing calories.
Exercise done. Now, weather. Brighten up. Sky becomes lighter.
Yes, up for improvement in light. Better weather.
I hope it brightens up later. Weather improving?
Right, the example. It should brighten up later. Weather improving.
Sky becomes covered in clouds.
Cloud over. Over for covering the sky, becoming overcast.
It started to cloud over around lunchtime, becoming overcast.
Right, the example. The weatherman predicted it would cloud over, becoming overcast.
Stops being rainy, cloudy. Clear up. Up for improvement clearing. Reinforces weather improvement.
Maybe the rain will clear up soon. Weather improving.
Right, the example. The weather should clear up this afternoon. Weather improving.
Becoming warmer.
Warm up. Up for increase in warmth. Reinforces temperature increase.
It's starting to warm up now. Becoming warmer.
Right. The example, however, it did warm up very quickly. Becoming warm.
Becoming cooler.
Cool down. Down for decrease in warmth. Reinforces temperature decrease.
It should cool down this evening. Becoming cooler.
Right. The example, the rain should cool down the heat. Becoming cooler.
Raining heavily.
Bucket down. Down emphasizes heavy rain. Intense rainfall.
It's bucketing down outside, raining heavily.
Yeah. The example, as soon as we were inside, the rain began to bucket down. Intense rainfall.
Storm becomes less strong and ends.
Blow over. Over for passing of the storm.
Don't worry, the thunderstorm will soon blow over. Storm ending.
Right. The example, the clouds will soon blow over. Passing of storm clouds.
Raining heavily, alternative.
Pour down. Down emphasizes heavy rain. Reinforces intense rainfall.
The rain was pouring down all night, raining heavily.
Right. The example, it was fun until it began to pour down. Intense rainfall.
Weather done. Finally, general up phrasal verbs. Cheer up, become happier.
Yes, up for improved mood. Reinforces becoming happier.
Cheer up, it's not the end of the world. Making someone happier.
Right. The example, flowers always cheer up a room. Making something happier, brighter.
Clean up. Clean completely.
Yes, up for complete cleaning. Reinforces thorough cleaning.
We need to clean up after the party. Cleaning completely.
Right. The example, could you please clean up the living room? Cleaning completely.
Increase power or volume.
Crank up. Up for increase in intensity. Often for volume.
Crank up the heating. It's freezing. Increasing intensity.
Right. The example, crank up the volume. Increasing intensity volume.
Telephone someone.
Call up. Up can suggest initiating connection. Reinforces phoning someone.
I'll call him up later. Telephoning someone.
Right. The example, I'm going to call up and cancel. Telephoning someone. Find hidden things. Digging. Dig up. Up for uncovering. Yeah. Literal digging or finding information.
The dog dug up a bone. Excavation. Or the reporter dug up some secrets. Finding hidden info.
Both work. The example, the children helped to dig up potatoes. Excavation and discovery.
Wear formal clothes.
Less up. Up suggests more elaborate attire. Reinforces wearing formal clothes.
Do we need to dress up for the event, wearing formal clothes?
Right. The example, you need to dress up for dinner. Wearing formal clothes.
Finish a drink.
Drink up. Up for completion. Reinforces finishing a drink.
Drink up. It's time to go. Finishing a drink.
Right. The example, drink up, then I'll refill your glass. Finishing a drink.
Finish a meal.
Eat up. Up for consuming all food. Reinforces finishing a meal.
Eat up your dinner. Finishing a meal.
Right. The example, the children had to eat up all their food. Finishing a meal.
Make something available.
Free up. Up suggests making available for use. Reinforces making space-time available.
Can you free up some time for a meeting? Making time available.
Right. The example, I need to free up some disk space. Making space available.
Stop or quit.
Give up. Up suggests ceasing effort. Reinforces stopping quitting.
Don't give up learning English. Stopping quitting.
Right. The example, never give up on your dreams. Stopping quitting.
Change from child to adult.
Grow up. Up for maturation. Reinforces earlier meaning.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Maturation.
Right. The example, children grow up so fast. Maturation.
Do something faster.
Hurry up. Up suggests increasing speed. Reinforces doing faster.
Hurry up, we're late. Doing faster.
Right. The example, hurry up or we'll miss the train. Doing faster.
Elevate something.
Lift up. Up for elevation. Reinforces raising something.
Can you lift up the box? Elevating something.
Right. The example, I can't even lift up my arms. Elevating something.
Find information.
Look up. Up suggests searching for and finding. Reinforces finding info.
Look up the word in a dictionary. Finding information.
Right. The example, look up the bus times. Finding information.
Tear into pieces.
Rip up. Up suggests destroying by tearing.
He ripped up the photo in anger, tearing into pieces.
Right. The example, the machine is used to rip up documents. Tearing into pieces.
Collect money.
Save up. Up for collecting. Reinforces accumulating money.
Saving up for a holiday. Collecting money.
Right. The example, you should save up and get a house. Collecting money.
Talk louder.
Speak up. Up for increasing volume. Reinforces talking louder.
Talking louder.
Right. The example, would you speak up a little, please? Talking louder.
Divide and relationship.
Split up. Up for division separation. Reinforces earlier meaning.
Let's split up the tasks. Dividing. Or they split up last year, ending relationship.
Both work. The example, they split up after 10 years, ending relationship.
Twist into a confused mass.
Tangle up. Up suggests state of disorder. Disorder.
My headphones always get tangled up. Twisting into mass.
Right. The example, be careful you don't tangle up the wires. Disorder.
Vomit.
Throw up.
Yeah.
Up suggests expelling stomach contents. Reinforces vomiting.
I feel like I'm going to throw up. Vomiting.
Right. The example, the smell made me want to throw up. Vomiting.
Increase volume heat.
Turn up. Up for increase. Reinforces increasing intensity.
Can you turn the music up? Increasing volume.
Right. The example, could you turn up the heater? Increasing intensity. Heat.
Close with a zipper.
Zip up. Up for fastening. Reinforces closing zipper.
Zip up your bag. Closing with zipper.
Right. The example, zip up your coat.
Yeah.
Closing with zipper.
Well, listeners, you've stayed with us through an absolutely massive amount of information. Wow.
We certainly covered a lot of ground there.
We've truly taken a very deep dive into what feels like, well, almost 337 fluent English phrasal verbs from that Club James Studios video.
Or at least a very good selection of the most common ones. Across so many areas of life, too.
Yeah, from just chatting on the phone to moving around, feeling things, getting dressed.
Cutting things up, giving things out, cleaning. It's amazing how they pop up everywhere.
It really shows how much these little verb plus particle combinations add to English, doesn't it? Makes it flow naturally.
It really does. And like we said, it's not about just memorizing lists. It's about, getting a feel for the verb and how that little extra word, the particle, changes the meaning.
Right, like understanding what up or down or out or away generally adds to the meaning.
Exactly. We tried to point some of those patterns out as we went along.
So the challenge for you now, listening, is to, well, not just forget all this. Start noticing these phrasal verbs.
Yeah, listen out for them when you're watching shows, listening to podcasts, talking to people.
And more importantly, try using a few yourself. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's how you learn.
Definitely. Maybe pick a category we talked about today, like maybe the shopping ones if you shop a lot, or the work-related ones.
Good idea. And just try to use one or two consciously. See how it feels.
You might surprise yourself how quickly they start sounding natural coming from you.
Okay, that really does bring us to the end of this phrasal verb marathon. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening all the way through. We hope it was genuinely helpful.
We really hope it's given you a clearer picture of these really useful bits of English vocabulary.
And remember, practice makes perfect. Or, well, at least practice makes progress. Keep using your English.
Absolutely.
We wish you the very best with your English learning. Keep at it.
Keep practicing, keep listening, keep speaking. Until our next deep dive, take care.
Happy learning, everyone.